I couldn't pay myself for 6 months.
For
So
six
just
months,
imagine working,
and you're not.
okay? And you're
Yeah.
not getting paid. Everything is going to
You're
bills.
just
Breaking
trying to
even.
keep the ship afloat and whatnot.
Yeah, just keeping the business going.
6 months.
6 months.
Okay, so now the business kind of going now.
Mm-hmm.
And when do you get to that stage where you feel like it's time to expand, where I need other drivers and I need a home-based location, the office?
Mm-hmm.
Because you said that you left your job in July 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of tie into like, okay, now we're here.
Mm-hmm.
We're going full time.
Mm-hmm.
What's going through your mind as you jumped out there to do this full time? Was there fear? Was there family support behind you, or were you kind of just on your own and just kind of figuring it out?
So I was just figuring it out.
Okay.
And as I go, um, it was difficult financially because I started with two drivers,
Okay.
out the bat. So I
Oh,
had
straight
two
out the bat.
people that
Okay.
I had to pay.
Yeah. Ooh.
So it wasn't just me
Yeah.
starting.
Okay.
So we were all driving the vehicle.
Okay.
The three of us, and sometimes you didn't make the money to pay yourself.
Because
You
you had
know
to
what I
make sure they
mean?
got paid.
Make sure
Yeah.
they get paid or whatever,
Take care of the
gas, all your
vehicle.
expenses that you have.
Okay.
Starting a new business is not easy.
No.
So things came up, repairs, used vehicles, and all
Mhm.
these things I learned for later.
Mm-hmm.
That certain things I don't do anymore because of learning in the beginning. But yeah, I mean, I had one of the drivers get into a very bad accident
Mm.
6 months in. I think I was telling you, and he flipped over on 95,
Wow.
totaled the vehicle, almost got paralyzed
Wow.
on his spine, right? He was like this close. And I was just so happy that I didn't get sued.
So
That was like I didn't want nothing to happen to
yeah.
him.
Right.
But this was also somebody that was almost like a little brother to me.
Yeah.
So that relationship just totally
Yeah.
dissolved.
How's his recovery?
I don't know. We don't talk.
Okay.
But during that time, he was going to be okay. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Just a little fracture or something like that. But
But why did the relationship dissolve? But obviously it was an accident. It wasn't your
well,
fault.
no, it wasn't my
It's
fault. And he couldn't come back to sue me because basically what he told the police is that he was veering off from hitting a deer.
Mm.
okay.
I don't believe it,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
that's what he says.
Yeah.
He was already given problems prior.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And so it was just like some of my clients were having issues with him.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I wanted to let him go before this happened. But my mom was just like, "Oh, he's like your little brother. It's just he left his job to work for you." I'm like, "But I didn't tell him to do that." You know what I mean? That was
Yeah.
his choice.
So
But it's just one of those things where it's just like this happened. He had put in his 2 weeks notice, and 2 days before his last day, this happened.
was this a learning lesson to you to kind of take feelings out of being in the business? Because if you would have gotten rid of him beforehand, this probably wouldn't have happened.
It wouldn't have happened probably.
Your
right.
vehicle will still been operating.
Right.
So was this the learning lesson? Like, I need to take my feelings out of the business.
Yeah, not listen to people when it
Yeah.
comes to certain things. And I guess that too, what
Yeah.
you're saying. But also too, I no longer hire people I know.
Mhm.
Because you figured that decision would have been made a lot sooner if it wasn't a family or close friend. You would have just
Yeah,
said, "Oh, I
there
need to get
wouldn't have
rid of them."
been so
They're
much
gone.
feelings there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it wouldn't have been so personal. I mean, I don't want to have to do that to anybody anyway.
Right.
But, now I don't have that relationship with that person. That was more than what happened.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that relationship with him than it just be gone because of all of what happened. It wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
So to go through that again with somebody else, I would never do it again.
Wow.
So vehicle got flipped, totaled. now you're down a vehicle, you're down revenue because you have one less driver. So
Right.
how did you pivot from there?
Oh man. I mean, it was hard because my auto insurance doubled.
Mm-hmm.
I had to take care of all his medical bills and all that stuff, pay him for the time that he couldn't work,
Ooh,
right?
and pay.
Yeah.
Um,
You had to call the general for auto insurance, huh?
no, I stayed with the same company.
Okay.
You know, I had Progressive Commercial,
Yeah.
still stayed with them, but it was high.
Yeah.
I couldn't pay myself for 6 months.
For
So
6
just
months,
imagine working,
and you're not,
okay? And you're not getting paid. Everything is going to bills.
you're just
Breaking
trying to
even.
keep the ship afloat and whatnot. you
Yeah,
know.
just keeping the business going.
6 months.
6 months.
So okay, so for 6 months, there's no money. You got to make sure everything else is paid. You're going home with no money in your pocket
No
for
money.
half a year.
Yeah.
How are you managing? How are you managing that? I mean, I'm pretty sure you probably saved some money, but that still has to be. Even if you save money, that's still hard. That's still tough.
Right. The savings couldn't carry that. Because remember, you're starting a business, so
Right.
it's like you dumped a lot of money in, right?
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
I didn't dump all the money in, but I'm just saying, it's just like, so even as you're going, you're not always making enough to pay what you want to pay
What you wanna
yourself.
pay,
So
yeah.
then you're taking away from that money you save, right?
Right.
And eventually the money's gone. So it's just like, well, on the side, I had to do Uber and Lyft.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
You know, here, there, between deliveries, like just to be able to pay my bills.
hmm
Mhm.
That's what I had to do.
So now, so basically, you have to spend the same amount of time operating your business, but on the side, I gotta find other time, whether it's my personal time after I close shop for the day, to go make my own
Well,
money.
I was doing it in between, like
Oh.
weaving in between. I'll get up
Between
early in the
deliveries.
morning,
No
like
downtime.
get up,
Yeah.
then go pick up a delivery, then done, get back at it, like
So,
wherever I could get it in to
so
make
how
whatever I
early would you
needed.
start your day then? And when would you normally kind of end your
Sometimes
day?
5 o'clock in the morning, sometimes 6 in the morning,
Mm.
and sometimes I could be going to 6, 7.
Mm. See, I think people glamorize being an entrepreneur of like,
Yeah.
oh, it's beautiful on that side. I get to
They
make
only
my
see
own
the
hours up.
spoils of
But you end up
victory.
working more hours as an entrepreneur than working the 9 to 5. Because like right there, you say I'm working 12 hours and I'm just breaking even.
And that's nothing.
And that's a standard day, right?
But
Could be,
that
yeah.
in that 6 month span, did that also, once that was over, once you got to the point where you started feeling like things were leveling back out again, did you also think like, okay, I went through that for 6 months, but if I can go through something like that, I'm ready for the next level. Like on the flip side, yeah, it was terrible to go through it, but it made me a better person personally, and it also made me a better business person. I have more hustle in me now. So did you kind of take that away from it? Like if I can go through
No,
that,
not then. Later, now.
Oh, wow,
You
there's
know, I
another-
mean, and not like right now,
another
but
level, another devil.
some years later, thinking about it,
Mhm.
I didn't think about it then.
Okay.
After the 6 months passed of going through that, I didn't think about it like that.
Okay.
I was just like, man, this is difficult, but
Yeah.
I'm just like, I got to keep going. Like I said that this is what I want to do. I got to see it through.
Because you in
But
the
a
midst
lot
of
of
the
people
storm.
would have folded.
Yeah, you in the midst of the storm at that point.
And, a lot of people feel like, oh, well, I don't want to do anything else, right? My business. And I hear a lot of people talk like that. And I'm just like, I'm always trying to preach to other entrepreneurs, like, have something on backup because things usually don't work out the way you plan. If I could be honest, almost everything about my life, for the most part, has not worked out in a way that I imagine it.